The Giants' rivalry with Washington is one of the oldest in the NFL, dating back over 90 years, and there have been so many classic moments along the way. But in the 1980s, the matchup would become one of the most heated battles in all of football. Both squads were led by legendary coaches. Joe Gibbs was the head man in Washington, and the Big Tuna, Bill Parcells, was at the helm for New York. During their tenures, the two teams combined to win 7 NFC East Division titles and 5 Super Bowl championships.
That was our fiercest rival, and that was the team that knew us best, and we knew them best. It was going to be physical, and it was going to be a battle.
But it's the 1986 season that Giants fans remember as being the high watermark in this intense rivalry, with the two teams playing 3 times in 1 year. In the first meeting at Giants Stadium, Phil Simms led a balanced attack.
Simms, touchdown to Bobby Johnson.
Joe Morris led the way with over 180 yards of rushing and 2 touchdowns as Big Blue secured the victory.
And this is Joe Morris. Morris is gone.
We respected them the most, they respected us the most, and we loved playing against them.
But with the division title at stake in Week 14, the Giants traveled south into hostile territory and the not-so-friendly confines of RFK Stadium for another NFC East showdown.
The standings in the NFC's Eastern Division. The Giants both at 11-2. This amounts to a championship game because in all likelihood, whoever wins today will win the Eastern Championship.
This is my favorite spot in the NFL, playing in Washington, because we knew we were getting ready to walk in that dugout and all those fans would be hanging over, and they were awesome. And one day I'm walking down that dugout, Parcells looked at me and goes, "You ready?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm ready, Coach." And he goes, "You know, Simms, they hate us so much here, they like us." I went, "Gotcha." Made sense to me.
And Simms would certainly find his comfort zone on the road, throwing 3 touchdowns on the day.
Here's Simms. Bavaro touchdown.
You just take that big tight end and just put him right down there in that short post.
The Giants lead 7-0.
Playing in our nation's capital also held a special significance for Virginia native Lawrence Taylor, who grew up the son of a die-hard Washington fan.
Lawrence Taylor on a blitz. Ball is loose.
I tell you, here's a guy that can dominate a game. When he's ready to play, look out.
LT would unleash his most dominating performance of the season, single-handedly destroying Washington's offense, sacking Jay Schrader 3 times on the day.
That game was a microcosm of that 86 team. We imposed our will, our defense was ferocious, and even for me personally, catching a touchdown against Darryl Green to ice the game, late in the game, was a great deal.
Simms is back at the 25, looking for a target. He's going end zone. Touchdown! What a catch by Bill McConkey in the back corner. Double team.
The winner of that game was going to win the division and get home field advantage for the NFC throughout the playoffs. That's how important that game was.
One Giant step to Pasadena.
And to me, this assures him of the division title.
From RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., where the final score was the Giants 24-14.
I got a funny feeling that we're going to meet them somewhere down the road again before the 86 season's over. I just thought we played pretty well today, and I'm proud of my guys.
In the 1986 NFC Championship game, with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, New York would battle Washington for the 3rd time that season. And with 40-mile-per-hour winds gusting through Giant Stadium, Bill Parcells would make a wise move, deciding to take the wind to start the game.
We'll take the win!
And of course the elements were so much a factor that day and wound up being a tremendous advantage for us. Our ability to do things in the elements that Washington just couldn't do. We drove the ball into a 35 or 40 mile an hour wind for a touchdown.
Simms has got a man open, and it's Lionel Manuel, touchdown Giants.
With their aerial attack grounded by the ferocious winds, Washington had to rely on their running game, which was as miserable as the weather.
4th and inches. The Redskins not on the scoreboard yet. Handoff is to Rodgers, and I don't think he got it.
Big plays by that Giant defense.
The Big Blue defense held Washington to 40 yards rushing, while Joe Morris racked up 89 yards and scored the game's final touchdown.
Morris is going to score.
This is it. This is what you go for. The championship game, the Super Bowl. Everyone wants to be there. When you win the championship, you know you're going to the Super Bowl. It's the greatest feeling in sports.